originated.
Deep web. I consider Kiwi Farms pretty deep web.
This is
calling it fighting and trolling when it's someone actually.
Why don't you let him talk?
Hang on.
You haven't let anyone talk during this whole time. Don't act like I'm the only one interrupting people. We're all doing it.
This is so off-brand for me to even be like across from someone.
All right, you know what? Here's what we're doing.
Because I wanted to clarify that I didn't make a doxing website, and I was able to do that.
You could have done this without me.
Okay.
No, you could have done this without me.
All right, look, you know what? At the end of
So, yeah, I think she's gonna double down. She's gonna call me a man the entire time to shake me, and she's gonna be petty as hell. But she's going to try to come across as not being petty. Either way, I plan on being extremely civil. I don't have time to go do some heated thing in the studio. I have things to do today. Yeah, so I will be civil. She will not. Bye, guys.
Alrighty guys, many of you probably already know yesterday RedPillBlack and Blair White went on the Rubin report to have a conversation, which turned out to be RedPillBlack talking over everyone and, you know, calling Blair White a man and other things, and just yelling over the top of Dave when he was trying to regain control of the situation, talking over Blair at every chance she could get. Now, she continuously calls Blair out and saying, oh, don't talk over me, this is my turn. But she does it all the time. So as you'll see through the clips, you'll see all of this with her talking over people and, you know, the way she acted throughout the whole event. Blair predicted this. As you could see in the little snippet from her Twitter video, she predicted that Candace would double down on her lies, insinuate that Blair is a man and not, you know, recognize her transition and other things, and use the improper pronouns. And she did this throughout the whole video. As you'll see in the upcoming clips, that's what Blair predicted, and Blair was right.
I'm not comfortable using the she pronoun, not because it's not anything to be disrespectful. It's just that a lot of people that follow me don't know that Blair is trans, and a lot of people that follow her maybe don't know me, vice versa. And I think that it betrays the audience when you make it sound like this is a petty catfight and there are two girls sitting across from a table, when in fact it is a grown man sitting across from a grown woman who has had a lot of things to say about me when I've never even met you or said negative comment about you.
For Candace to act like identity politics aren't important to her or they shouldn't be a thing, she goes right for the gusto by calling Blair a man, pointing out that she will not use she, her pronouns for Blair because she doesn't want her audience to think that it's two women having a cat fight, that Blair is actually a grown man and she a grown woman. Well, Blair is more of a grown woman than you'll ever be, Candace. You squabbled, you cried, you made yourself look ridiculous, and it's completely and utterly true that you love identity politics still and always will. Gotta love your SJ-dub tendencies, don't you?
I just think it's interesting how you act like you're above the ad hominems and you're above attacking someone, when in reality, you and I both know that the situation is you're using those pronouns and you're saying what you're saying, calling me a grown man.
That's not an attack, that's a fact.
Let me finish that. You're doing that in a way to be passive-aggressive and petty, but in a way that your audience doesn't actually read, because you do have the very hardcore conservative audience, and so they're not really going to read it as petty. Everyone else will.
No,
Blair was spot on. It was petty, aggressive, and just a way for her to be passive and not let her audience know where her real motives lie. This is RedPillBlack, everyone. This is what she's been about. She's new to the YouTube game and wants to act like she's not, you know, a part of the, you know, drama and pettiness, but she highly is. Proving this by using improper pronouns from Blair, calling her a man, etc.
I would say, look, but you have to start by calling me a man. Okay, but
I want to make it clear because I don't want to have to afterwards say, if you are, this is your stance on trans, why did you sit across from a trans person and call them she? So I am making it clear because, as we know, you guys like to dig up every single thing that I do and every.
Candace then tries to make it, the whole point of this is her stance on trans people, and she doesn't want people to be confused in her message and everything else. I've seen tweets from a lot of conservatives that agree with Blair and think, you know, RedPillBlack was extremely petty. Candace, you were very petty, and you shouldn't have done that to start it off. You started off with an ad hominem to prove a point, and it was not a smart call.
Let's do this. Let's just to clean this up, so we don't. I just don't want to get too lost in the weeds of every little word. I think. Look, you guys know my feelings about free speech.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what to say,
right,
how to refer to Blair, and Blair can obviously defend herself. We can do all that.
Dave stepped in at this point and tries to calm things down and get the, you know, conversation back on track. and keep them from yelling at each other, which is, you know, what's to come, because Blair does her best to remain neutral and not, you know, be aggressive or talk over Candace, but Candace constantly talks over Blair. And as you will see coming up shortly, it's loud and it's obnoxious.
Up the phone, I listened to the voicemails, and they were people, 4 boys, that were screaming back and forth, calling me a dirty nigger, saying we're going to tar and feather your family, saying we're going to do to you like we did to Martin Luther King, put a bullet in the back of your head, made references to Rosa Parks. It was really probably the nastiest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life.
Candace, your story about bullying, everyone's been there. We all understand. You are playing a victim in this situation. I understand you were bullied by some racist pieces of shit, but that doesn't change the fact that what you created because of what you went through was very reckless. It was extremely reckless. And you don't even understand how reckless it was because you don't want to admit your fault.
Which is another thing, Blair, you don't know where I stand on anything for you to call me a fraudulent conservative. You don't know the things that I've lived through, so that was something that I didn't really understand.
A lot of things I don't understand too, so I have a million questions for you, because unfortunately you did have me blocked up until like 2 days ago.
Right.
Over one tweet I sent to you, so.
No, it was a live stream.
It was a live stream. I went on a live stream. First of all, it was not for an hour and 15 minutes. I hope people go and fact check that, because it was not on there for that long. That's the first thing. The second thing is, again, you had me blocked before the live stream. You had me blocked before the live stream. So, and you've had a million people blocked. You blocked everyone.
Right. I'm going to get into that. I want to finish.
I know, but I'm going to finish what I was saying first. You had a million people blocked.
So that doesn't really make sense.
No, I'm just saying I'm glad that we're actually having a conversation, because prior to this, the reason why it's actually gone to the point where I have to do on the Rubin report rather than just a quick exchange on Twitter or you making a video on your own channel is because you've blocked conversations.
So I just want to be clear. You're allowed to tweet out your trash, and I am supposed to then defend myself rather than you coming to me first for answers. Just so we're clear.
You're absolutely not supposed to defend yourself. You don't have to do anything.
Right. So you're insulted that I blocked you after you insulted me publicly to, what do you have, 130,000? Does that even make sense to you, like saying that right now?
Candace, you have every right to block me. There's no, you can not respond, you can block me, whatever it is. What I'm saying is, people are criticizing the way that you've handled the situation. You have the backstory, which I will absolutely let you finish, but the way you're dealing with people calling out the story and calling out things that they think maybe are fraudulent, maybe they're not fraudulent, maybe you can clear that up, is you haven't actually cleared it up. You've blocked everyone.
Blair also doesn't need to know you to understand where you stand. She sees it and she's going on what's happening at this moment in time. Your past is quite irrelevant. The last month is what matters, not your past. And we understand you want to paint this picture so everyone thinks you've been, this horrible victim. And you even go on to say, I'm not playing the victim. But you are. You're playing a victim here. Blair tweeted about you to critique these issues and, start a conversation. Yeah, she may have called you out and called you trash or whatever she called you. But for you to instantly block her over that is childish. And it's freaking hilarious because you're the queen of saying, we should have a dialogue. We should start a conversation. Well, if you see someone saying mean things about you, don't block her instantly. Be like, what the hell? Why are you saying this? Okay, let's talk. Blair can tweet whatever she would like about you, Candace. That's the freedom of the internet. That's the First Amendment. And she can say whatever she wants. Just like you can say and do whatever you want by creating a website that wasn't intended to be a doxing website, yet turned out to be used by doxers. And Kiwi Farms, as the joke in the beginning of the video, is not dark web. I can search it and find it on Google. I don't have to use a special proxy setup or anything like that to get into it. It's not the dark web. And before you, say things, maybe do some research, as you tell everyone else to do.
I don't do that. I don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't get to make a video about me lying, okay?
YouTube
and then saying, now you better come to me and answer me. Who does that? That's,
all right, hold on,
that's the opposite way of handling anything.
Terrorists? Are you kidding me? Terrorists. Really? Really? I don't give in to terrorism. You're not the American government. You can answer and respond to people. They're not terrorists. Did they murder or perform a jihad or some craziness on you or shoot up your church? No. No, they didn't. They're not terrorists. Stop trying to scapegoat it and twist it in the way that your conservative group will look at it and win you brownie points. They're not terrorists.
To both of your credit, you asked me to do it, and I texted you, and literally within 30 seconds, you said you would do it. And that's people should know that, because we live in a time when no one backs themselves up. They hide and say all this crap. So I just want to put that out there. But
I'm going to skip chunks of the video because there's a lot of parts where it's just Candace rambling and dominating the conversation. However, though, link will be in the description below. That way you can watch it for yourself and, decide for yourself. These are my views. They don't have to be yours.
To do a little something here with definitions of words, because what you're describing there doesn't sound to me like a doxing. A doxing website would be I'm using this site to release information about people. But you're saying basically this was going to be an archive home for schools to look at this information and sift through it. Okay.
So I think calling it an archive, it literally is an archive, but it's also a doxing website. Anytime you publish people's personal information, it is doxing.
It's not personal information.
Why not?
Because it was public.
Because it was on Facebook. That's still the definition of doxing. If you share someone else's,
no, it's not.
If you share someone,
no, it's not. You can't change the definition of doxing.
Hold on.
I actually have the definition right here.
Good.
If you share someone else's personal information without their consent, it is doxing. Especially when it comes
Google
to kids.
doxes everyone.
I'll finish. Especially when it comes to kids. She's definitely playing the whole wanting to protect kids thing, which I think honestly, your heart could have very well been in the right place. But the reality is, when you aggregate information of children and you attach it to where they go to school, which was the intent of your website. In fact, you actually said that it was the best time to be on the website if you were a child, because it teaches you.
Can you slow? I literally can't follow you right now.
You said that it was the best time to be on your website when you're a child, because it teaches them responsibility of what they say online, right?
We said that in a video.
You
there
said
are
that in a
not
video.
A single child was on there because,
I'm not saying there was. I didn't say there was.
Yeah, because we didn't want to shut off. Like, if people asked questions, we didn't want to shut off the possibility of having children. If we found out this worked and this was harmless and no harm, no foul, we didn't want to come out and say we're never going to put a minor on here, because again, the whole reason I thought of the idea was because of what happened to me when I was a minor.
Well, it's actually illegal to even put the child's information on there.
There was no children. So this is like a fantasy conversation right now.
It's not a fantasy conversation. It was your intent. So that's what you don't really understand. You think that because the website didn't actually come to fruition, that people still don't have a right to criticize the idea of it. That's exactly what you think. But regardless, you made it very clear that your intent was to put that information on your website. It actually violates the Children's Internet Protection Act. So it was illegal. So that's why your Kickstarter was actually
all right, wait, hold on. So
it's not. No, you can't change a definition. Candace, the definition of dox is really easy to find. I'm sure you had a cell phone while you were sitting there. And if anyone on that stage would have actually looked it up, I know they talked about looking it up, but never ended up doing it. So here's the definition of doxing for you. And we're going to go ahead and say that you were wrong. It's any personal information posted there without consent. It doesn't matter that it's available on Facebook. They may not see these people, may not see these hateful words, but it's there. And it was a dox. You are allowed to publish other people's information, but it doesn't change the facts that it's a dox. It was a dox. And whether the website actually physically doxed anyone's home or address or anything, it did allow doxers to get that information and post it on places like Kiwi Farm and other deep web places that were actually being used by doxers.
Happened. You're admitting it didn't happen. But you're talking about acts.
Are you going to let me finish?
She's literally bringing up laws right now that could have been violated, even though it wasn't violated, even though.
She said she called her out for using a proper pronoun for Blair, even though she said she wouldn't. That's hilarious, and I give Blair props on that. That's what you get for trying to double down. You used she to describe Blair, and you know what? Did anyone die? Did it hurt anyone in your conservative group? Nope. No, it didn't.
Did I do it? Yes or no?
Maybe if I could finish a sentence, you'd understand that I am making sense. But if I can't actually reveal my point to you, how are you going to?
It's not a dox. We need to stick with the definition of dox, because that is where things went.
I do want to clear up some definitions.
I need to support free speech as part of your message as a conservative, which is a great message. Do you really think it's that crazy for people to see RedPillBlack supporting free speech and then look back a year ago and see that she tried to create a website that doxed people? And you can say it wasn't doxing, but when you publish people's information,
we're going to get to the bottom. That is not true. That is categorically false.
Let's try to clean up.
I just don't understand how it's perceived to be so insane.
First,
Fantasyland,
two
people think
questions
there's
here. First,
contradictions
it's
there.
important that we address doxing, and I'm going to let you do that.
Yeah, all right. So let's just one thing at a time here, because
I can
there's a
pull
lot
up
here.
doxing
So
right
first
now.
off, we can pull up. You're welcome to pull up the definition
I
of
have
doxing.
doxing right
I think
here.
part of what's happening here is we're struggling with a couple of. As I said, splash page, which you did forward me some emails. You guys were referring to this as a splash
Web
page the entire
non-functioning
time.
splash page, is what she said.
Now, in essence,
Sticking by that.
that may have been some confusion by your web guy. I mean, you forwarded me the whole change. So
From last February.
So
He's been calling it a splash page.
that's what her web guy
My
was
web
calling.
developer called it that,
But,
so-
hold on a
you
second.
know it wasn't a splash page. A splash page is literally defined as a logo before you go into a website. You had multiple
We were
pages on
building
the
a
website.
technology. You're not understanding this.
I'm absolutely
No, you're not.
understanding
And
it.
now you can let me finish. We were building a technology, not a website. So what he was saying is this is a splash. This is a splash of what we were actually. We never built it. That's the whole point you're missing. When you're building a technology.
Dox and splash page, Candace, these are words that you obviously don't understand. You should not be using them because you don't understand them. Or if you're gonna use them, look them up. It's not that hard. You tell people to do research, but you're not doing it yourself. Look up the definition of dox, look up the definition of splash page, ask your internet guy why he's calling it a splash page, and then make a statement. Don't say it's a splash page if you don't know what the hell a splash page is. Oh, it was a splash of the technology. Maybe I'd love to see the emails, and if it said it's a splash of the technologies, you were using splash page purposefully to drive home that it wasn't a active site. But when in reality people found out, that's when you start backpedaling.
Okay, so did you not have a database of 20,000 plus people? That's what you've stated. There are two statements you said. There's a database of 20,000 plus people, and that it was a non-functioning splash page. One of those statements can be true. Which one is true?
What do you mean? It was not.
That's what I'm
You're not missing a point.
I think
And this
what
is
people
what
are.
he's trying. This is what he's trying to tell you.
Hold on.
You
What
said
people
there
are.
was a
Wait,
database.
Candace,
They're getting
wait.
hung up. You're getting hung
So
up
what
on
people are-
splash page. You're not listening to the fact that he's telling you that he read the emails between me and the web developer. You're
But
not listening to the facts.
Candace,
I'm absolutely
hang on, guys.
listening.
Candace, what I
Database or
think
splash
people
page?
are confused by is, regardless of the definition of splash page, if it was non-functioning, how did it in fact collect the information of 20,000 people?
Right. It didn't collect the information. If people are writing in the information, it was storing it. It was an archive.
Storing and
hold on.
collecting?
Okay, hold on. So you,
It cannot be two things, Candace. An archive and a database are the same thing. You can't say that it's not a database. An archive is a storage of books or knowledge, and a database is a storage of information. What do they have in common? Storage of information. Just in case you're not smart enough to use Google on your cell phone. I'll Google it for you.
You said there was a database, and then you said all it ever was a non-functioning splash page.
I didn't say that. I literally quoted. I did
did.
say that. You're not listening to me. Let me finish the
did. I have
sentence.
it right
I
here.
did say that, but you're not listening to me. My web developer, I forwarded him all the emails from February. Did you not see these?
No,
He called it a non-functioning splash page because we hadn't yet built the technology.
Okay, so
you're
I
making
think-
it seem like
hold
I'm a
on.
liar.
Hold on,
and that's
hold
what
on.
I wasn't okay with. It was
Candace.
something that was told to me by a web
Candace.
developer, and
If
I
there was a
repeated that.
database, it's not a non-functioning splash page. So are you willing to take it back that it was a non-functioning splash page?
I am more than happy to admit, and like I said
There
to
you go.
Dave.
Okay.
Are you
Okay,
just
so
not
wait,
finished?
hold on. I think that-
you didn't let me say anything.
ahead and
there.
go.
You just
Go
said
ahead.
go ahead and go. Let me finish my statement.
Okay, then go.
I am more than happy to admit that when I stated that, I said that. I regurgitated verbatim, and he saw the emails, what my web developer called it as soon as we started. He said, because we're not building technology yet, you don't have the money to. We had to raise money to build the technology.
You said it.
take my word for it that I saw the emails that your web developer referred to it as a non-functioning splash page, but you're also acknowledging that that's not quite
True.
right.
Yeah, and that's
that
fine.
it did
Not even
actually.
not quite right. It's directly
so-
not true.
Okay, but see, the
But I don't
problem with
think
you
that
saying
I
it's
don't-
not true is that you're making it seem like I'm a liar. I was never a liar. I said what was told to me from the very time that we started this, what my web developer called it from start to finish. I said exactly what was told to me. The issue is that you're making it seem like I intentionally lied to try to hide something. That's
Okay.
the
No,
problem. You don't get to call somebody a liar and a fraud ass bitch, which is what you called me 1,000 times.
Your web developer could call it whatever he wanted. But Candace, you took it at its word without looking into it and trying to figure out what he was meaning. So you're just like, okay, because this guy has a college degree in web programming, I'm going to go ahead and believe everything he says in relation to this. You can't claim ignorance as a defense, and Blair points it out. You cannot use the ignorance defense, even in a court of law, Candace. It doesn't work. Just because you don't know something doesn't mean you're innocent of it. You still committed the act, and therefore, you should have done your own research, asked your web developer what he meant, and got to the truth.
Be honest, I know this is gonna super hurt your egos, but I didn't watch a single one of your videos except for the Google Hangout for the first hour that you were on.
Candace, I didn't make a video on you. So
You jumped in a video chat.
hold on,
Like,
ladies.
be, like own it. It doesn't matter. You were on it for an hour and hour and 15 minutes.
Guys.
Let's quote Blair. She's such a mess. This is going to be like, honestly, intellectually, like, it's going to be hard to get through. She's such a mess. The fact that anyone believes her is so sad. She's a fraud. She's a fraud. She's a fraud-ass bitch. No, these are not hip-hop lyrics. She's such a joke. She's so stupid. This bitch thinks she's going to change everything, and she's not. Especially after going on InfoWars, which is ridiculous. The insults that she lodged towards InfoWars because they have a big audience, and to them watching, my apologies. I have a lot of respect for them.
Because they have a big audience?
Because let's keep it real. Where is she going to go after that? Some dumbass bitches are still believing her. For people that believed me, you are all dumbass bitches. She's a complete SJW, and people are so dumb. By the way, this beef with her started before she ever thought about doxing, because she literally says, from the second I saw her, I thought, wow, that's definitely an act. This is honestly envy dressed up as righteousness.
Candace, you bring up egos, and it seems to me that the only person with a hurt ego here is you. You seem to be extremely defensive, extremely angry with how loud you were. You gotta wonder, how bad does your ego hurt, and what is going on with you, like, in your head, because we'll never know. Oh, Blair called me names, wah. You know what? Who cares? It's the internet. Candace, if you don't understand how the internet works, please get off of it. Please. Like, it's not that hard. Delete your Twitter. Still do YouTube videos if you like and shut off comments. But don't cry because someone calls you out on your BS. Blair can say whatever she wants about you. You can say whatever you want about her. But for you to cry about it and play the victim, that's some SJW tactics stuff right there. You're supposed to not be into identity politics, yet you're focusing on these things.
Okay, now let's pause for a second. I want to give you an opportunity.
Here's a huge problem, especially saying that it was a testing phase.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of those people that were in your database were doxxed. Were actually doxxed. Again,
what do you mean they were actually doxxed? Say what doxxed means to you.
If you look at the Kiwi Farms link that people are spreading around, there are people posting in that thread, sharing their personal addresses, and yes,
that's bullshit. There was never. I'm not going to let you do that. There was never a line for that to be included on my website. I don't care what Kiwi Farms did, because they doxxed me too.
Listen,
Candace, you need to let Dave speak. You're talking over him, you're talking over Blair. Let him moderate it. This is not the RedPillBlack show, it's the Rubin report. So go ahead and stop and listen to these people for 5 seconds before you chime in with your defensiveness. It's ridiculous. Like, you are getting so wound up over nothing.
Let her finish.
When you create a digital, basically hit list of online bullies, you're enabling vigilantes to go onto there and enact doxing whatever they want to do. These people, these people's businesses were.
She's now accusing me of what Kiwi Farms did. This is crazy.
Low.
If I take a screenshot of your name and your tweet,
tell me what this looks like.
It's not from my website. So how are you accusing me of that?
The point is, when you create an online digital hit list of online bullies.
This was done for this. This is done for this. I'm sorry. This was done for this.
Someone's address someone got because
that person
was on your list.
What year was that posted? What year was that posted?
It was last year, the same time everything happened with your website. It was last year.
Yeah, because Zoe Quinn attacked us and started trying.
All right.
You're missing the point.
Just to be clear. So what you were
she doxed my family on Kiwi Farms.
Okay. Hang on a second. So just to be clear, what you're showing me here.
And that sucks, and that's horrible. I don't
care. Honestly, it wasn't that serious. I think even that is being blown proportion. Nothing happened. Everybody's alive. It was just like, nobody. It's been 18 months. Nothing happened. There were pictures and names. That is all you guys have ever been able to do. That's on Kiwi Farms. You're not on social autopsy.
Listen to me. On your website, pictures and names. On your website.
So she's admitting it's pictures and names. How the hell is that a dox? You can Google someone's name and get pictures. Is that a dox?
Hold on.
Oh my God. My point is the intent, Candace. The point is when you create a digital hit list of people who are online bullies, especially when it comes to, a lot of the times it's conservatives and people who are on this, the reason why these people are on there, you can see their comments that they made, the reason why they're put on the website.
Okay, but
Vigilantes then go to this website. The point is that it was a trash idea. It was an Orwellian nightmare. People went to it, abused it.
It never launched.
I'm aware, but the information, the database was still accessible from people. That is the problem. You never officially launched it, and thank God, it never came to full fruition. However, that information was still accessible. It was abused, and these people were doxxed. People's businesses were put out there. People's home addresses.
Can I just ask you a question?
Evidence for that?
We can get
Let me
this
finish
to a
my
place-
question. So
we
if
get
you're
this to a
saying that
place
the
that's a little
point is
cleaner
that
here.
people can find something, ready, follow my train of thought. People can find something that they don't like and they think that this person, it's a hit list, okay? What's stopping the person from just, why do you have to go to social autopsy? Just go onto Facebook and go where we got it.
You don't seem to understand how your website could be an issue. It's a lot easier to dox a person when you're handed a file of information and you say, hey, these people are all assholes. Hey, Mr. Doxer out there, who I didn't dox anyone, but the doxer guy out there who sees all that is like, you know what? Those people, I don't like what they do. I'm going to go ahead and grab their information and post it on places like Kiwi Farms.
Because if you look at the comments from the people who actually used your website to dox people, and again, they dox them, not you. If you listen to people commenting, they're saying, this is the resource we're using. They went to you as a resource to collect names, and they dox those people based on the mean comments that they said online. That's the reason why they chose to hurt them. That's what happened.
All right, so, okay.
Why not just go to Facebook and look for mean comments? That's what we did. Why do you need a database?
You can do that. The problem is,
this is making no
sense. You're not understanding.
It's like you're not understanding. It's already on Facebook.
When you create,
you're upset at the second source, not looking at the first source.
No.
That's why it's an issue, Candace, for people to put up a site like this. And if you can't see that, like, get off of creating websites and doing things. Just go on and babble and talk and do whatever on InfoWars. Go sell us some super female vitality. Anything like that, but just stay away from creating websites.
I would like to play devil's advocate. I have a question, okay? So my website had a picture and a name, and you said their intentions were clear. So if I go on Facebook right now and I look under a post under CNN, okay, and I see that a person said something that I don't like.
It's public. However,
I didn't finish my goddamn question. Calm down. Take a deep breath.
You calm down.
Calm down. Seriously.
You're cursing and
Seriously,
yelling.
calm down.
You. Okay.
Calm down.
Okay, Candace. Okay.
Damn is the worst. You've been calling me a fraud ass bitch and all these names, but now she's offended by damn.
Sorry for that, but you're not above it because you called Tree a cockhead. You called people.
I genuinely think she's on drugs.
All right, guys. Honestly, I think you're both. I actually think you're both.
Because you are always on the defense and you don't seem to understand what Blair's point is. Just listen.
What do you expect, Candace, when you create a website that attaches people and their mean comments to their employers, their school, etc.? What do you think is actually going to be the result of that? People are going to call the school. People are going to call them. That's what's going to happen.
All right, let's pause for a second.
That's the result of the website.
Okay, so with that question in mind,
what would you expect? Are you so ignorant to believe that people wouldn't use this kind of information for harm against people that they don't like and words they don't like to use? Are you that ignorant? Candace, it's serious. Are you that ignorant? More of Screaming Candace. I'm going to skip ahead a little more. And like I said, links in the bottom. Watch it. Take your own thoughts from it.
and she's acknowledging that it was misguided.
I've said that 1,000 times, which is why this is just a witch hunt, because I've already said that. I've already said that. And then the thing is, and I'm not comfortable with you pretending that you did not put out there. All you guys said 1,000 times over was that I dox people.
Did I not just say that if I said that you directly dox people, that it was incorrect? Did I not just say
okay,
that?
she's conceding
She's
the point
allowed
there.
to be incorrect. I'm called a liar.
It's not a witch hunt. You've never actually made a sincere apology and owned your bullshit. That's the problem all of us have, is you need to own it. If you apologized on that show and said, you know what, I screwed up, here's why, you would have walked away from that having respect from people who don't respect you right now and probably never will after this travesty of a show, because you made yourself look horrible. And anyone who begs to differ, that's what they're allowed to do. They could do that. I don't care, but that's not my thoughts. You made yourself look bad.
Because I've been blocked for so long, there's questions I want to ask. So you stated on your Patreon, Tree of Logic was paid to lie. Do you have evidence of that?
Right, no. So
you don't have evidence?
No, I don't have evidence of it, but I 100% believe. And by the way, you kept making it seem like I was saying you were paid to lie, or any of the people that you hang out with. Absolutely not. I was always.
You called it a funded misinformation
doesn't want to answer. Next question.
People are going to provide evidence that Tree was paid.
You couldn't provide evidence that I was
paid.
doxing people, but you said it.
You admitted you don't have proof of Tree of Logic. You admitted this. So why? Why are you fighting it so hard? Just say, nope, I don't have proof, and yes, that was a speculation, and yeah, maybe it was wrong. Maybe I'm fucking reading into it way too much.
A retweet.
But hold on, I think
there's
there is something interesting to that, because we all discussed this before. I discussed with both of you separately beforehand, that we know sort of the rhythms of the internet and
Right.
how suddenly we've all been through this, right? There's been times where people were endlessly and relentlessly and unfairly attacking you. I've been through it. You're through it now, and it goes in phases. They see
Right.
someone kind of moving on up, and then everyone jumps on it.
Right.
It does seem a little odd to me, but again, I don't.
It was
I
odd.
can.
It
I
was
always
very
quote
odd.
Carl Sagan: "Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence." So I can't.
But it's not
But something
just-
seems odd to me that why would Richard Spencer
That's
get
what I-
involved in
it's
this?
odd. If you can't
but
acknowledge
but I
that
have
that's
nothing.
odd.
It was retweet something. He retweeted
It's
something.
just weird to be sitting
It's
across
a
someone who.
retweet.
Okay, do
So
you
to
not
go-
think
so
it's
to-
weird
so off
that
of-
somebody
hold
who
on,
has
one
a
second,
really
one second.
small following
So
was
off
able
of-
to get all the way to Richard Spencer in 24 hours?
Wow, you really don't understand how Twitter works, do you? And the internet in general at all, right? Because, oh, how'd Richard Spencer retweet it? Or how'd it get from someone small to Richard Spencer so fast? Because maybe a big follower follows that small person and the chain just moved around? Like, seriously, delete your Twitter, please. Delete your YouTube. Like, honestly.
The problem with saying we don't know the answer to that, because at the end of the day, she made a direct claim and she can't prove it. So saying we don't know the answer to it, it's kind of like giving credibility to the fact that it might be a thing. It's
What's
just
interesting
not.
is that you have all these notes, but you said you didn't even watch her video, and you are co-signing it. You're defending
I'm
her.
not.
She's an
Candace,
alt-right
there's a million
Like
videos
you're
because I
sitting
didn't
across
watch
and you're
this.
defending Richard Spencer and a woman that literally sounded like she was on crack cocaine, making up conspiracies
Hold on.
about me, which you basically
When-
are co-signing.
when did I defend-
And she was
No,
more
listen.
upset by the fact that I said something about Tree.
Oh my
Tree
God.
made a whole video about me. You don't have one. You didn't
Candace.
say one thing
Guys,
about
guys,
her.
I think
have
both
to
of you.
respond to this. I'm not.
But it's
Sorry,
ridiculous.
Candace,
No, but you are a
Candace,
little bit of an alt-right
it's not.
sympathizer, right? Because you're
I'm
sitting
an
here.
alt-right sympathizer. Did you just say that?
I'm asking you a
just said
question.
that.
I'm asking you a question. Why are
I'm
you
an
sitting here?
alt-right
I'm
sympathizer.
asking you a question. Why are you sitting here instead of saying, you know what? Her video was way out of line and there were a lot of lies. You're not presenting any of the lies in the campaign
Candace,
that you helped
Candace,
perpetuate. Perpetuate
Candace,
being the operative word.
Candace.
Why aren't you?
Sorry, give her
Why
a chance,
stop
give her a
pointing? I
chance,
didn't
give her a
answer you. I
chance.
didn't answer you. I
Candace,
can
give her
point
a
at
chance,
whoever
give
the
her
hell
a
I want
chance.
to.
You can do it,
Give
but
her a
you're being
chance.
really fucking
Okay?
rude.
Like
Candace.
it's ridiculous.
Give her a chance. Give her a chance.
Candace.
It isn't on Blair to have the burden of proof. It's the accuser. You are the accuser saying that Tree of Logic is a crackhead and all these other evil things when you don't know her. You're basing it on assumptions by the speech patterns, etc. You have to prove it. You have to prove that they were paid. You have to prove that she's a druggie, as you claim so nicely. You know what I'm going to claim? And I have proof to back it up. You're a scumbag. You're a horrible excuse of a human being, and you don't deserve to have this big of an audience. You are poisoning the well, and you poisoned this interview from the get-go.
You called all the YouTubers bottom feeders. None of us are above that. We've all.
I
said
genuinely
things.
think that's why
Okay,
I didn't
you can
answer.
think
Your
that.
answer to the question of
You
why I
can
didn't
think
answer
that.
is that anybody that dedicates, especially in the sphere of what's going on in the world today, right? We've got like terrorist attacks happening, everything that's going on with the Trump presidency, the invasion that just happened over in the Middle East in terms of rescuing the prince. Anybody that dedicates 5 videos to talking about me and something that never launched, like, it's just a little weird to me. It's like I have better things to do than deal with bottom feeders.
Well, I think we can all agree that we wish YouTube.
Hell yeah, guys, bottom feeders unite. Make as many videos on this crazy Candace Owens chick as you can. Because you know what? Let's make some money off of her. Let's use her because she's doing the same thing. She's using these things and using these appearances to gain subscribers and traction. You know how many people she got from the Rubin report the first time? A lot. And she's using it.
It was. People were docked as a result of the information
A
being
year ago.
accessible.
How come I haven't been sued?
Okay,
A year ago.
okay.
The whole thing was
How
a year
come I
ago.
haven't been sued?
You're here talking about the whole situation a year
Right,
ago.
I know.
Well-
How come I haven't been sued if these people's lives were completely ruined, if it happened a year ago?
Candace, I don't know. Ask people
Yeah.
who didn't choose to sue you. I don't
Right.
fucking know.
Okay.
All right, but
The simple answer here is you should be sued. You should be sued by those 6 or 7 people who you put up on your website and then doxers got a hold of their information. The suit may not go anywhere, but at least it would be some sort of repercussion for your extreme negligence in creating this site, you and anyone else who was involved in this site.
I would say, I would argue that they were doxxed because of what she did, because they used
They could have gotten it on Facebook.
Listen, yes, they could have, but at the end of the day, they didn't. They used your website as a resource.
This is crazy to me. This to me doesn't make any sense.
Talk
I gotta
about
be
what they
honest
could have,
with
would have,
you.
Land. You're saying they could have gotten it from Facebook. What do you mean? They used your website.
Hold on, this is...
There are people that were doxxed were on your website because of the fact that they were on your website.
Okay.
Blair, you killed her whole argument here with a precision strike. Because the information exists somewhere else, Candace, doesn't mean you can repost it and show it off to people who, you know, may have evil or bad intentions to use it.
You were misguided in create. I mean, it seems to me that this whole thing...
I didn't understand internet culture when I created this at all. I wasn't on Twitter. I didn't understand that there was this culture war going on. As I said, and I know you...
Ignorance of internet culture isn't an excuse. If you don't understand the culture, why are you here? Because you finally have a platform where you can make some money and your Kickstarter didn't work out too well for you? You got on the Rubin report. A year ago, you jumped ships to the conservative side because you saw how bad your website was or what people could do with it? No. If you don't understand internet culture, get off of YouTube, get off of Twitter.
This one. So one of the things that's confusing me a little bit is that nobody seemed to care about this whole thing for about a year.
Very interesting.
Then your profile kind of got built up a little bit, and then literally within a week of you doing this show, suddenly everybody was saying this, and I'm a little confused. Were people being doxxed?
Well,
before
here's
that,
why.
like, do we know when those people grabbed the list and started doxing?
Yeah, that was about a year ago. All those doxes I showed you on the phone. But the reason that happened was because about a year ago, when the actual website was, she was working to make it come to fruition. There was YouTubers Chris Reagan and made videos about the situation, criticizing the website, criticizing her motives, and she kind of, I guess, wasn't on the radar for about a year until after that. And she came back and she was RedPillBlack, new persona. And it took a few months for people to realize, oh, that was that person we were all talking about a year ago. That's what happened. So I think the idea that this is all like some grand conspiracy theory and that Tree of Logic was paid, Richard Spencer was paid, it doesn't make any sense. It's
Okay.
People did care though. Dave, they did care. They brought it up a year ago. Chris Reagan, many others made videos when her Kickstarter first came out, and you're blatantly defending this because either you didn't do the research or you're just buying into Candace's BS. And Candace is gonna use that. Like, oh, they waited until I got big. No, people were talking about you when the Kickstarter first came out and it only had about like 2,000 donations. It's relevant now, Candace, because people wanna know what your true motivations are and you keep hiding them. You keep hiding them. You double down on your lies. You act like you're bigger than the situation and that you shouldn't have to answer to it because of your brand. Seriously, like, where do you get off thinking you're that much better than everyone else on the internet?
Because these are bottom-feeding YouTubers that saw someone rising up quickly. This is envy dressed up as righteousness, period. This doesn't even make sense.
God.
It's not envy. These people do not envy you or jealous of you. They're not. Sorry, it's just not the case. No one is. Not after this interview and how bad you made yourself look. Period.
That they all jumped on, and it was a dogpiling, okay? If 11 YouTubers are on the same live stream, that's a dogpile.
Don't let your SJW show too much, Candace. Oh, dogpiling. They dogpiled me. 11 people dogpiled you because they called you out on your BS on a live stream? Maybe say, hey, can I join so I can talk? But no, you wouldn't do that because you wanted to double down and then get a bigger platform like the Rubin report in order to gain followers. That's what you were there for. You were trying to mooch off of Blair's followers.
I did not make a video. I'm a YouTuber, if I don't make a video, it's really not that important to me to make a video. That's the first thing. So I was never like that invested in this, which is why I was kind of confused why she chose me to debate when there's been a million YouTubers who have made, like I said, videos and have like, even if the facts are wrong, have laid out like facts, this is why we disagree with Candace, whatever.
Mic drop by Blair. You aren't that important that I'd make a YouTube video. I really didn't care that much.
There's two reasons. A, I thought that the irony, like a dramatic irony situation, was irresistible. Like, I'm sitting across from a trans person who would like to be called she, and we've accepted your transition from male to female in your gender.
What does
but
that
you
have to do with anything?
You're not,
Give her a second to finish.
But that's so like, what
sitting across from you, okay,
Uh-huh.
who could not accept my transition from liberal to conservative. That is like irresistibly ironic, A. B, because I felt that the rest of those people were bottom feeders looking for hits, okay? And you have an audience, so if anything, for you to show up today, you have everything to lose, nothing to gain. You're not going to gain anything off of me.
That That was perfect. And the sentiment of it was perfect. Blair's response, and Blair, if you ever watch this, that was fantastic.
So I think all right, so before we get
Because you were humble and you were relaxed through the whole event. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, stop right here because I'll be doing a part 2 because this is gonna run long, but that was fantastic. Again, the link's below, guys, and you can watch the whole video yourself. I highly recommend it. And like I was saying, guys, part 2 of this will most likely be coming out tomorrow. Gonna be working on it. It is a lot of information and a lot of stuff going on here, and I want to share it with you all who want a broken down, condensed version of the interview. My name is AG Luck. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the video. I know it was really long. If you like what I do, please subscribe below. Like the video, it does help with the algorithm. And have a great afternoon and evening, everyone. Thank you.